Beautiful people, podcast listeners, Singaporeans, to all of you out there, welcome. This is episode 25 of Misfits. So this is where I speak to the rebels, outliers, unconventionals in Singapore and try to see things how they see it and to learn from them. Some of these individuals include Donnie Yen, who has won the Grand Beatbox Battle Championship twice in a row. Benny Se Teo, who is the co-founder of 18 Chef, Adrian Pang, the famous theatre director, actor, and a whole lot more. And today on the show, we have Sugar Shay. So Pak Ding Shen, better known as stage name Sugar Shay, is a Singaporean hip-hop artist, songwriter, director, and music producer. So in 2012, Sugar was named the Unsigned Talent of the Week by World Star Hip Hop. And he was also the first Singaporean hip-hop artist who made it to the iTunes top charts with his song Lim Bei. In 2016, Sugar Shay was invited by the US ambassador to perform at the White House State Dinner After Party. So Sugar is also the founding member of hip-hop group Grizzle Grind Crew, as well as production company Grizzle Film. And he films and directs most of his music video. I think most of all, I'm really excited to speak to him because he's just a young guy, 25 years old, not too far away, and achieved so much in his life. So I'm really keen to find out what made him who it is in his journey and what has he learned from all these experiences. So in the conversation, which you'll be hearing coming up, we spoke about his vision for his career, Sugar's vision, Sugar's how he dealt with the passing of his father, and the advice for young budding artists, and much, much more. So without further ado, please enjoy this episode with Sugar Shay. Thank you so much for taking your time out to do this interview.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know you've been flying in and out of Singapore, very busy if you're doing music, so I appreciate you taking the time out to do this. And I've been really wanting to interview you for a while now. When I first heard of your music, and that was back when I was beatboxing, and you mentioned we did a show together.
Yeah, we did.
I didn't even remember.
We did a school show together.
No way.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
and you know, I think one thing that people don't know about you is that you actually direct and produce most of your music videos, and I have to say that they are very well done.
Thank you.
And I love them. So at the age of 24, you've achieved so many things. So my first question to you is that, you know, when you're overseas and someone would come up to you and ask you, assuming that they don't recognize you, what do? How do you answer that question?
What do I do? I just tell them that I make music. You know, music is my main thing. Then directing, producing, and all the other stuff is like it falls in line after that. Fashion and film and acting and everything else is like my second love. Yeah. Music would always be my first love.
And with every guest on the interview, I like to find out a little bit about their origin story. So if you can take a stab at describing your childhood, you know, paint us a picture.
My childhood. I grew up in Ghim Moh. I spent my whole life in Ghim Moh, like 18 years. Ghim Moh, Queenstown-ish. That whole area, that whole stretch, Commonwealth. That's like where I spent like my whole, between the age of 7 until like, you know, until I finished the army and everything. So, I come from, I'm only child of my family. My mom only speaks Mandarin. My dad only speaks English. And then they communicate with Hokkien. So that's so this is how I grew up. Like I had to speak only English to my dad, and I only could speak Mandarin to my mom. So I'm kind of like forced to learn both languages, and at the same time, when I listen to them communicate, it's in Hokkien. So that's how I like picked up the different languages.
Really cool. So they each of them didn't try to learn each other's language, but they communicate in this middle language.
They did. I mean, my mom can speak English, but it's like, you know, it's not like her language of choice. It's broken English, and my dad speaks Mandarin, but it's horrible. So, yeah.
So both of them probably will be hard to communicate in each other, like mother tongue. Like me and my mom too, you know, my mom speaks Chinese to me all the time. But then whenever I want to try to argue on a point, and the English comes out, and it's like, 你不要触你的那种 English 啊，我听不懂啊. And it's like, okay. And you know, you went to Henry Park Primary and then followed by, you know,
yeah. You found out about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's kind of my job, right? So, and then Queensway Secondary.
Yeah.
How were you a student back in the day?
Okay, Henry Park is a nice school. Henry Park Primary School. It's a nice school. It's like, you get a lot of like the rich kids that go there, But I was never one of the. I was just there because I stayed in Ghim Moh, and Henry Park was a school where all the rich kids in Singapore want to go. Like the parents want to send them there.
No way, I didn't know that.
So, for schools in primary school and stuff, you can only go to the school if you make special donations or if you live really close by to that area. So I happened to stay in Ghim Moh, which is like super near Henry Park, which is how I got in. But I was like one of the worst students there. You know what I mean? Like one of my worst grades and all that. But I had a PSLE score of like, I think, 212 or something like that.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I'm like 228, so not too far apart.
Not too bad, but like 212 is like neighborhood school, straight up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Express, but neighborhood school, right?
Yeah.
So, I couldn't go to like Chinese High or whatever, like River Valley, or where all my cousins and all my other relatives were going to, like the Raffles or the smarter schools, and if you want to call it that way. And I went to Queensway, which is a neighborhood school, and that place changed my life in a lot of ways. Like that's where I started rapping at 9, but that was just like for fun and like doing it as a hobby and just trying it out and stuff. But at Queensway was when like I really met a lot of people that were into hip hop music too.
So Henry Park, no one likes hip hop.
They liked it, but it's not really. I mean, I don't blame them too. It's in primary school, So the type of music that we listen to is like. I don't think people were listening to music in primary school too.
No. I think there wasn't any MP3 player back then.
I had a Walkman though.
Yeah, Walkman.
I had a
It's like
Walkman.
one of those Sony ones or
Yeah, it's the Sony one.
Enza?
Sony Walkman.
Oh,
So
okay,
you
okay.
put the CD in, and I remember like my first CD that I ever bought was Eminem Show.
Oh.
So like back in the day, if you have a Walkman, it's either you listen to the radio or if you have a CD, you just put it in and you listen to the album for like
repeat
months.
over and over and over.
Yeah,
over.
exactly.
Cleaning out my closet without me.
Yeah, Cleaning Out My Closet was the first song that I heard that made me want to rap. Wow. Yeah, that was like the first song. Yeah,
that's really cool. And when you transited to Queensway, it seems like you have found like your tribe. Because I mean, in Henry Park, do you feel like you belong there, or?
I wouldn't say I found my tribe, but it's just a different environment, to grow in. Yeah, in Queensway, it's definitely more rough. Yeah, I mean,
how would you describe rough?
Every other class, every other guy was from a gang. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I wasn't from a gang, but like a lot of my friends were. But it's opened me to a different.
Because I just was speaking to Benny Sito, 18 Chef, and he really taught me like what gang was it like back in the days, and which is like.
But that's probably that back in the day. There's like probably even like more.
Yeah.
Crazy. But like my time, I don't think it was that crazy. But it's just that.
Was there fights and?
Yeah, there were fights and all that. The toilets, like what I mean, like. All the time, man. And sometimes the people flip the chair in the canteen. You know what I mean? The long chairs.
Oh, okay, the bench, yeah.
The bench when it falls, and when you hear that sound,
like,
yeah. And sometimes they do that and then they fight lah, or like whatever it is lah. So Queensway was like one of the places where.
Right, but how did you fit into that whole scene? Like what were your?
I was like the nerd.
Oh,
like the weird nerd, very very weird. Like just like. I was just out of place. I was not very cool. So like, what I mean? Like I was the guy that, cause Queensway was known for sepak takraw and their soccer. Sepak takraw, the it's like
the feather thing, is that?
No, not feather.
The ball, the small little rattan ball.
Yeah, the rattan ball.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
So it's famous. Queensway is famous for that. Like they always win gold and stuff lah. So sepak takraw and soccer. So, I could play sepak takraw, but I wasn't like super good at it. And soccer, I was horrible. So I was, during PE lessons.
Yeah.
You play soccer and stuff. Like basically the teacher would like get two, maybe team leaders, and then they'll pick their team members and stuff. I was always the last to be picked for sure. Yeah. Cause I sucked at it. And, I was always like the goalkeeper, cause that was the
I think I was defender.
Right,
One
right.
of those last few, yeah.
Yeah, I was always the goalkeeper, and I hated that shit because, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was that kid until I started rapping. Until people figured out that I could rap. Then things like, you know, kind of.
Wow, when was that? That was sec.
There was I think when I was 14. No, when I was 14, I performed for the first time. That was at my dad's birthday. Yeah, in front of my relatives. Then at 15, I performed in 15 late, like Sec 3, like at the end of Sec 3, like November-ish or before November. I think Teachers' Day or something. Performed in school. Like that was my first time performing in school, and then performing at Teachers' Day as a secondary school kid is like a big thing. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
So I did that, and then the kids just viewed me slightly differently from then. I wasn't so much of the loser after that, you know. Yeah.
No, I think after I know I performed when during Teachers' Day too, but I'm still am the loser. I remember back in the days in the classroom beatboxing, and then my friend would be like opening up his umbrella. It's like, stop spitting saliva at me. I'd be like, oh, come on. And now it's like, look who's laughing. Who's making money from spitting saliva? But yeah, man. How, when was your first paid performance?
First paid performance?
Yeah.
Probably when I was like I think 16, 17 maybe. 16, 17 maybe for like a school show. Yeah.
And
that was like
how was that? What?
I
was the kind of
can't
census that-
remember exactly which school was it, but like it was a school show, and I think it was like $100 or $150, something like that.
It's
Yeah,
not bad.
yeah. For a first show, like getting a check for my first show, that was like when I was 16.
It was a check.
No, it wasn't a check; it was just
Okay.
cash.
Okay,
but
yeah,
at
yeah.
16, $150 is like a lot of money, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean now it's different, but like back then it's like I didn't know you could make money from like doing what you love, you know. Yeah.
How do you feel, man, when you received that first paycheck?
Oh, it was good. I just kept the money, and then
Did you celebrate at all?
not really. Not really. I think I bought something, but yeah, not really celebrate or anything. Yeah.
And like I think back in the days also, even for now, there's a huge array of different kind of like a rapper or MC musician with different vibes and different styles. Who were some of your heroes back in the days? I mean, you spoke about Eminem.
Rappers.
Yeah.
Eminem's definitely one of them. Like greatest rapper of all time to me. Eminem, Jay-Z, for his swag, charisma, flow, success. Tupac Shakur, for his the realness, his heart, his passion. Yeah, Tupac was known for that. Nas for his lyricism, for his wordplay, metaphors. Biggie for just crazy flow and punchlines.
Oh, yeah.
And Biggie is just another, East Coast legend, or like one of the kings of hip hop to me. Yeah. So these are the few people that I.
And coming now to present time, of course we have then the musician, but now in respects, because you actually bring out different categories of like, this is for the lyricist and Jay-Z for the success. And now, like, who are your heroes in terms of maybe for career-wise, showmanship, for all-round performer, or for business? Did that change? Did the few heroes change comparing back when you're 16 and now?
Not really. Those are people that I would always look up to until now. It's the same people I look up to. It's just that, it's still the same, and I think it'll be the same for probably the rest of my life. Yeah, because those are the people that shape my mentality in a way. Yeah.
And when was your first big break? Yeah, I mean, you have, you get paid like 150, right? But like when it was like, wow, I can do this.
Probably when I dropped Limpe. Yeah, that was when like when we went number one on iTunes back in 2013, and at that point in time there was no Singaporean song that was ever number one on iTunes. So to have Limpe, go number one, and it was like, on the front page of the papers and everything. And I was still in the army.
Oh,
Yeah, so when that
Music and
happened,
Drama Club.
yeah, Music and Drama Company, yeah, MDC, which I owe a lot to also. Like, it helped shape my showmanship, my performance skills, and everything. Yeah, MDC is definitely a place that made me excel in my career a lot more. Yeah.
And so when you went to MDC and when you hit top charts in iTunes, now you know that, wow, this is something that I really can do for the rest of my life. What were...
No, but the thing is,
Yeah.
before that even happened,
Okay.
when I was 14, I already this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Regardless of whether I just kind of knew and I wanted this for the rest of my life. It wasn't whether I was going to be number one or whether, of course I wanted to be number one and stuff, but whether I was going to make money from it or not was not something that was on my mind. It was more like, I like to do this. It makes me happy when I do this. I love to do this and I want to do this for the rest of my life. That's all. Yeah.
And when you say this, because now that you do so many things, right? How do you define this? What is this for you in the array of things that you do now?
Creating.
Okay.
Creating. Yeah. Creating music. That's the thing. But I mean, as I progressed along the years, creating music expanded into creating different forms of art, like film or directing or producing or acting even. It's just different form of expression. Yeah, for you to do different forms of art, I feel. Yeah.
And did you need to bring up that weird, awkward conversation with mom? Or
Not really, man. Not really. When I was 14, I remember I spent all my Chinese New Year money on recording equipment. I bought a smaller Yamaha mixer with the cables. I bought back then condenser microphones were a lot more expensive than what it is now. So I had to save up a lot to get a condenser mic, and to get a pop filter was a major hustle, man. You know what I mean? To get that, it was $100 over for one pop filter.
yeah.
But back then, I couldn't afford that, so I had to really save up and get the pop filter, get the microphone stand, get the condenser mic, get the wires, get the mixer, and then save up for a proper computer. Back then I was using a Windows computer, so the program that I had to use was Adobe Audition. Yeah, so I had to kind of learn how to record myself. And back then YouTube, they didn't have so many tutorials, so I really had to watch. I would watch these documentaries of Dr. Dre or Jay-Z or Eminem, Timbaland in the studio. They're working on stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to do what I think they're doing, and I just recorded myself. And from there, just and my mom just kind of, I mean, of course, she didn't really take me seriously at first, I was a kid, but eventually along the way, I think she kind of realized, yeah, I was serious about this, yeah.
and did she, have any hopes? Being Asian parents, they always want their kids to be, I don't know, doctor, lawyer. Did mom have any of that for you?
All my relatives had that for me, except my mom. Yeah, my mom just wanted me to do something that would make me happy. Yeah, but the rest of my relatives, they all wanted me to go to a good school, wanted me to be a lawyer, wanted me to be a doctor, wanted me to be this, wanted me to be that, everything that I didn't want to be. Yeah.
And I bet those are conversations that you being brought out in Chinese New Year.
Yeah, back then, yeah, all the time, how's your studies, what school you going to, and all. They would compare grades and stuff, and all my other cousins and all, they were older than me. They were all from Raffles, and VJ, and they graduate with honors and stuff from NUS and whatever master degree from overseas and all that. So I was the only one that I just did a diploma. So I went to poly. I was the only one that went to poly. So I didn't go to JC, right? So the rest of them were they were kind of worried in a way, I guess.
But how? But this is the your cousin's parents, right? But what about your cousins? How did they feel about all that?
They were cool, man. They were okay, man. Yeah, they were chill. But it's more the older generation, lah. cousins from our generation, I think we're all pretty much open-minded already. So yeah.
Yeah, and when was that shift that happened for them that, now they're like, oh, maybe the lawyer thing and doctor thing is not your cup of tea?
After I did a song with Stephanie Sun. Yeah. Before that, it was still like, they would still ask me like, when are you gonna get a proper job and da da da.
What was the conversation then after you did the song with?
The Stephanie Sun?
Yeah. Well, because the conversation before was like, hey, like, when's this doctor thing gonna happen for you? What's your grades like?
The doctor thing happened for me, but more like, when are you going to go back to further your studies, or when you're gonna go get a proper 9-to-5 job, Yeah, but after that Stephanie Sun thing, I think they kind of accepted it. Like, okay, let's just let him do what he want to do, you know what I mean? Yeah. Before that, yeah.
Cool. Did the what's the genesis? Actually, I'm interested because I am actually with genesis story of that song with Stephanie Sun. Did she reach out, or did you reach out? I mean, I want to speak to her actually, just by the longevity of her career. That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
to speak to.
She definitely is a legend. What happened was like Ruth Ling, who's like Stephanie's keyboardist on tour and stuff. She owns a record label and a studio called Red Roof Records. So what happened was, for SG50, she wanted to put together an album that it was a compilation of all these different artists and Singaporean artists and stuff, and she wanted people to collaborate and stuff. So she reached out to Stephanie, and everybody was on it. Like, a lot of people on that album, man, like Nathan Artono, Cesari, Sam Willows, Pang Wenfu, Liang Wenfu.
Liang Wenfu too.
Liang Wenfu wrote the song that I did with Stephanie Sun.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. He composed it, yeah. And just a whole bunch of legendary people, man. Rani Singham, Jeremy Montero, just all the OGs in Singapore, all in one album, Sing50 album. And so when Ruth reached out to Stephanie, with this idea and stuff, she said yes. Then she said yes, but she requested to work with me. Oh. Yeah, Stephanie requested to work with me. So, which was, but I didn't even know that she knew who I was, So Ruth gave me a call, and she was like, "Hey, this is Ruth. Da, da, da. I was. Would you be open to doing a song with Stephanie Sun? Like, she requested to do a song with you, something like that." And I was like, wait, Stephanie Sun. Are you talking about Stephanie? That I was like, and then she was like, yeah. And I was just like shocked, and obviously like, hell yeah.
The genres even then was very, very different, right? The genre that she is used to and you are used to.
She's used to. I guess so, but music is music, I guess.
Did you find out later, like, why did she request you, or did she have a song in mind that really needed you?
I don't know. I don't know why she reached out, but I mean, she liked my music. She liked what I was like. She liked the that I was just like weird, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, but I was just shocked. And I was like, hell yeah, like, I'm gonna do a song with Stephanie Sun. Of course, I'm not gonna say no. Hell yeah, and like I said yes, and that happened. And then what happened was, we did the song, and then I was in the studio with Liang Wenfu. I wasn't in the studio with Stephanie though, because I think she was on tour at that point in time. So Liang Wenfu wrote the song for Stephanie, and like I was in the studio with Liang Wenfu. I wrote the rap, and then he kind of he liked it. He didn't change much of my lyrics, yeah, which was crazy to me, because my Chinese is not very good. And Liang Wenfu.
For anyone here, Liang Wenfu, if you guys want to like look into it, just one of these really old school Chinese, what do you say? It's like
Xing Yao.
One
of the creators for Xing Yao.
Yeah, and one of those Chinese songwriters that don't write a lot about just love, and which is rare in the Chinese music scene. And when I first heard his music on the radio, and the content of his music is like, wow, this is amazing. The reference that he used, and it's also very colloquialized. So I'll put a link to Liang Wenfu. I really love his music.
He's definitely a legend in his own right. Yeah. So then we shot the music video, and then that was when I think Stephanie's assistant like Stephanie called like me on the phone, and then she was like, "Hey, thanks for doing the song." Da, 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 da. I was wondering who was on the line at first. I was like, "Oh, hey, well, okay, well, who's this?" Da, da, da. And then the person was like, "Hey, that's Stephanie," and I'm like, "Oh, hey, like, what the fuck? Like, thanks for getting me in the song." I was just happy to work with her, and it was just such an incredible honor, man. And we did the music video, and then we did the show together. We did the performance together, and performing with her was crazy because I had my mom and my aunt in the front row.
Oh,
Yeah, so that was a moment for me, man. For real, yeah. I remember that because I was on stage with Stephanie, and like everybody was on stage, like Willows, everybody was on stage at the final part, and then I was like, I told Stephanie like, hey, that's my mom's right there, and Stephanie was like, oh, your mom's here, it's so cute, da, da, da. And then Stephanie waved to my mom.
okay.
Yeah, and my mom was like, hey, you know what I mean? So
Nice.
that was a moment, man, for me. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, just something off tangent, but you talk about the call actually, that you didn't know who it was. I remember one thing that happened to me, and I'm definitely gonna cut this out, but I'll just share with you. So someone called me. I was just almost like waking up from my sleep, and then one of those like, yo, can you get me this contact from this person they work with? I was like, who are you? And it's like, I'm Sheikh. It's like, who's Sheikh? It's like, yo, stop saying, I was like, I don't know who you are. And it's like, I'm Sheikh Heiko. I was like, and then I was just like, then he was just like lamenting me, like, da 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 da. And I was like, it's like, I just woke up, man. And then I was like, I still don't know who you are. But it was a funny story. And then after that, I called my friend. It's like, yo, this guy called Sheikh Heiko, like want your contact. This is cool to like pass it over. And it's like, yeah, cool. But it was just something. I just remember that. God damn. Anyway, moving on from that. Diploma. So you took diploma in media and communication after Queensway. Was it a natural thing? Why did you choose that? Because you could just go into music production, which is like what Dani did in TP, right? But you took
I did media and communications in Singapore Poly, which is like basically mass communications with a different name. I did that because I wanted to know about because I was already doing music every day. Like, I don't need to go to school to do music. So I wanted to do something that I wasn't doing at home, I wanted to learn something that I don't know, like the business side of music, the advertising side of music. Because for mass communications is what you kind of learn. You go through business relations to advertising, the PR to journalism, broadcast journalism to film to like everything. So this is what I really wanted to learn, and that's what kind of Singapore Poly did for me in a way. Yeah.
And what were some of the biggest lessons you took out of that?
That's where I met. That's where I learned how to direct. Basically, Mr. Loh I Kun. He was the director of Phua Chu Kang. Yeah, he happened to be my lecturer. Yeah, so he taught me how to direct music videos and how to everything. Like he taught me a lot how to edit and stuff. So, and then he was also like, I was classmates with Oskid. This guy Oskid, he shoots all my music videos. He's my DOP and like
Still does.
Yeah, still does. But I haven't shot a music video in a while. But probably will work with him again. So like he's the guy that one of the guys that I started Grizzly Grind Crew with. So DJ Nash D and Oskid, and Oskid was my classmate to Mr. Loh. So after I did 3 years in Poly, I went to the army, right? And then Mr. Loh happened to leave the Poly or so, and then he became the head of MDC.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that was nice. That was nice.
It's a coincidence, yeah.
I remember like just trying my hardest to get into MDC, and just it's like you don't have a tendency, you can't. I was like, yeah.
It's hard, man. You have to be lucky to get in MDC.
You gotta hustle so hard. I didn't even get in, man.
Yeah.
And no, back during the Poly days is like in 2008, you got featured in World Star Hip Hop as the unsigned artist for the month. What? I mean, just going back in time, what were your visions and goals back then for yourself?
That was in 2010.
Oh, 2010.
Yeah,
Sorry.
2010. Yeah, that was in 2010 when I dropped my first mixtape, and that was my vision back then was just basically, you know, I because there wasn't really like a rap per se or hip hop scene here. There is a hip hop scene for sure, but like for rappers wise, nobody was really going international in that sense. So there wasn't there wasn't somebody for me that I could look up to follow. So I just had to. I knew I wanted to do it, but I don't know how to do it. But I had the passion for it, so I just dived into it. Like, just do it, you know, just do it, and then figure out how to do it later. So that was my mentality, and then and my video just miraculously just ended up on World Star Hip Hop, which is very lucky, and yeah, a lot of doors opened from that thing too.
Wow. And you know, like what has changed since then? What has this vision or this goal of yours changed after that and you know since then?
How has it changed?
Yeah. I mean, back then you didn't have anyone to look up to, so maybe you want to do this, but maybe not to like a clear picture of like, I want to get here. This is the place I want to be. So it's maybe a little bit more murky. But now that doors have sort of like opened for you, what is this big vision that you have for yourself compared to back then, or if that's changed at all?
I think the vision and my purpose has always been the same, and it will never change. Like, it's just basically to make music for the rest of my life, and you know, inspire people that come from less than regular people, and you know, kind of empower people with the mentality that you can do anything that you want to as long as you believe. Yeah, because I came from a place where a lot of people told me not to believe. Yeah, in a lot of things, like told me this was not possible, that was not possible, and you know, I was just weird in a way that I just blindly believed, even when everybody told me not to believe, and things happened. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you can do anything you want to do in this world as long as you believe and you're willing to put in 200% of the hard work that more hard work than anybody else. You can make whatever you want come true.
And we're going to definitely dive in a little bit into the hard work part because you work really hard. So before we do that, I'm going to do a left turn over here, and I'm going to ask you this question, which is it's a bit hard to answer, but we'll see how it goes. Water? Okay. What are some belief or achievement or objects that matter to you greatly back then that maybe now not so much?
What are some objects and
Belief or achievements that you have back then that didn't matter so greatly now?
Achievements back then? I guess, like, you know, performing on TV for the first time back in the day was like big for me, you know, and like, whoa, I went on TV, you know what I mean? But now it's just like, it's just, I still appreciate it, you know, I appreciate every single second of it. Like, whenever I get to perform at a show, definitely would give them 150% of every single show, because you never know when it's going to be your last, you know? So, but I guess going on TV back then meant the world to me, man. Yeah.
Cool. And for the next question, again, this is a tough question, and you don't need to answer this if you don't feel like, and we can always edit this out. So back in 2009, when you're in SP, your dad passed away. You know, did that affect you in any way, and how did you deal with it?
I mean, of course it affected me in a huge way. Like, I mean, I'm an only child. Losing my dad would, you know, would mean that I have to, you know, step up to be the man of the family, you know, to take care of my mom. And I was 17 back then. My dad was like the sole breadwinner of the family. And then, you know, losing my dad meant that my mom had to go to work, and I had to, like, you know, try find extra ways to get cash, and you it was just me and my mom, basically. So I had to grow up really quick. I had to grow up really, really quick in a short matter of time. And it was a really tough time for me. It was a really tough time for me. But I think at the same time, it was, artistically, it was great for me too, because, it kind of, I was going through so much pain and struggle that I had to, kind of, release it, find a release for it, and music, happened to be there. And that's when I, that's why I put so much into my music. Yeah.
No, and I only ask this question because there might be a small group of us that are dealing with this, with the passing of a loved one, and have no idea how to sort of release this emotional vow. So with you sharing that, I think people might be an option for people that maybe diving into music or.
But I think losing life and death is something that everybody has to go through, and losing our parents would be a part and parcel in life also. It's just a cycle of life. It's just how we deal with it and how we grow from it. It's a pain that everybody has to go through. And I think anybody that's going through it right now or whatever, they just have to know that it's something that everybody goes through. It's just something you can't avoid. You can't escape from it. You just have to go through it and figure out your own way of dealing with it. I use music to deal with it, but everybody would have a different way. And I'm sure if you kind of tell yourself that you're gonna come out stronger, you will. Yeah.
And what is the toughest part that you need to deal with? Is it more you mentioned financials, or is it more the emotions, or?
Tougher part, I think. The tougher part was probably, my relatives were really helpful, although it was just me and my mom and stuff. So, we never really, asked for help, but they were always offering help. So in that sense, financially, my relatives were ready to support us if we were to really, really be super down or whatever. But I guess for more on the emotional side, it was tough. Yeah. Cause I had to be the backbone for my mom, Yeah, I gotta be the man, because if not, who's gonna be the man?
And what were some of the conversations that you need to tell yourself, that went through your head during those times that
conversations I had to tell myself?
Just because there's a lot of noise and a lot of things that are going through. What are those things that are going through your mind during that period of time, and what do you tell yourself otherwise?
I guess I just kept looking forward. Yeah, I never looked back. I just kept looking forward and keep moving and keep moving and keep moving. That's why I'm doing so many things always. Just bam, 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 bam. Just I don't like to stay at one place. I like to have freedom for my mobility. Yeah, and that kind of helps me, let go of the past. Yeah.
Yeah, I think just being able to do things, and at least things are moving forward by you doing things, sort of paints picture that hey, there's maybe a light at the end of the tunnel, and things are moving forward.
Yeah.
And this is going to be another left turn again. As an artist, and this topic was actually brought out too with the interview with Danny. We all deal with this issue of making money versus selling out. Maybe I just get some of your thoughts on that.
What, selling out?
Yeah, when you make money, then it goes to you selling out, and I think.
I don't agree with that at all. To me, selling out is doing something that you don't want to do, and then getting paid for it. That's selling your ass. But if you're getting paid to do what you love to do, how is that selling out? How is that selling out when you get paid to do what you love every single day? If making money is not selling out at all, if somebody tells you that person is just jealous and sour because he's not making money doing what he loves. But yeah, if you're doing money making what you love, man, and that's not selling out at all, man, to me. Yeah. That's selling out is basically, I feel if you doing something that you hate just for the money, that's selling out. Yeah.
And how do you deal with all this, like, a noise, or I like to put it, that, other people or comments or from haters? Do you have any way?
Of course. I mean, with love, it comes hate. It's just a yin and yang kind of thing, and you just kind of, I just kind of respect people's opinions, man. If they don't like me, they don't like me. If I'm okay with it, so.
But did you grow that attitude like later on in life, or this is something even before then you sort of feel that way?
Definitely, like, later on in life. I guess, like, I mean, starting out, like, there was a lot more hate when I just started out as a rapper, because, like, being a rapper in Singapore is like, people have never seen it before. It's like, why is this Chinese kid trying to be like black and trying to rap and all that kind of stuff? But along the way, you kind of learn how to manage that hate and negative energy, and you learn how to channel that into positive energy. And you kind of learn how to use the hate and negative energy as your fuel for your motivation, and you kind of use it to your advantage, so that you wouldn't let how other people's opinions of you affect your strength and your energy. Yeah.
I think that's such a great lesson for anyone who's doing art to know. And I mean, in that instance, is there any mentors or individuals that have impacted your life greatly?
What mentors in my life?
Yeah, or people.
Yeah, a lot of them, man. I've been very blessed and fortunate to have a lot of mentors. To have met a lot of mentors, like along my life, like different stages of my life. I met different mentors. I had different mentors teach me about different things, whether it's music, whether it's film, whether it's acting, whether it's about just life lessons in general. And I think that having mentors at different parts of your life is very important, because as human beings, we're always learning. We always have to be learning, like 活到老学到老, you know what I mean? So you kind of gotta always have the mindset of learning and having different mentors in your life, because mentors are people that have been through things that you have not, and they go through the pain and the bullshit for you to learn from it, so you don't have to go through whatever they go through. You know what I mean? Like, just like learning from history. History is there for a reason, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta kind of learn from the past and not make the same mistakes that people have made. Yeah.
And were these mentor some people that you seeked out personally, or they just sort of like fall into your life?
They sort of just fall into my life. Yeah. And always, like, there's these different mentors in my life. I think it's just when you put out a certain form of energy out, like a certain form of positive energy out there, the universe works in a very funny way, man. It just, positive energy kind of attracts positive energy too. So I just think that, the same type of people with the same mentality kind of, comes together. Yeah.
And in the topic of mentors, how do you differentiate good mentors versus mentors that doesn't suit you?
You gotta go with your gut feeling. Yeah. I can't tell you who's right, who's wrong, who's a bad guy, who's a good guy. It's all about the vibe, Sometimes when you feel it's right, it's right. When you feel it's not right, it's not right. Yeah.
And are there any mentors or lessons that, that pop up to you in the top of head?
What would you mean?
Are there any like person that come up to mind that like, wow, this person really?
No. Mr. Low is probably definitely one of my biggest mentors. Yeah. Teacher back in poly, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And what are some, Darling actually raised up these questions, which is, what are some revenue models that, you have explored that, wouldn't necessarily, maybe take the stress off a musician or artist selling out, that are maybe not so common or known to artists, maybe in the music career per se?
another revenue source.
Yeah.
Like other than selling music.
Other than performing, or because that's the very easy way. Okay, is apparent, right? You just perform, you get paid, or you sell your songs on iTunes, you get paid. Are there anything else that you've explored? If no, then you can skip this.
I mean, the music business has changed so much. Right now people don't buy songs anymore. It's all about streaming. So artists actually make money from streaming. That's another avenue. Spotify, and Deezer and all these other streaming platforms and stuff. And merchandise is also another way, merchandising, and it's a lot of different revenues on how you want to make money. That's more on like how good of a businessman you are already. You know what I mean? It's being a musician is one thing, but being a businessman is another thing. Like I feel, yeah. But having a good balance is important for your survival, for longevity.
Yeah, no, especially and especially when you're an artist, you always your main importance are always being put on this music career or like banging out good music, and sometimes you forget the other aspect that requires you to have in order to fuel this and let you continue to do it.
Yeah.
And like were there any instances that forces you that lesson, or that you thought of at the top of mind?
I was very lucky, but because like everything kind of happened at the right time for me, I guess. Like going to the army and stuff. I mean, at first, before going to the army, I never wanted to go into the army, of course.
Like all of us.
Yeah. But after going to the army, I realized like that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Because it gave me kind of 2 years to kind of figure out like whether, music was the thing that I really wanted to do for the rest of my life. And the army kind of gave me that. Because I did like 600 over shows in 2 years, man. Just performing, I had to like dance, sing, act, host, freaking everything, man. Rap, everything. So it made me an all-rounder performer. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the army, you managed to work with Jack Neo, Dick Lee, JJ Lin.
Not JJ Lin, but JJ Lin was from MDC, but I never worked with him. I never met the two.
Dick Lee and
Dick Lee, Jack Neo, Dick Lee, Jack Neo. Yeah, but I wasn't working with Dick Lee and Jack Neo because of the army, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
so I don't trust the internet. It's terrible. Yeah, need to fact check this.
Yeah, but for the army, it's more of the experience that I took away from it, the experience and the skills that I took away from it. Definitely played a very crucial role in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, and what were some of the missing pieces that you didn't know before that that showed itself when you're in the army? Because I think, which again, I don't trust the internet. That you say you learn to be an all-rounder performer, and back then you were just a rapper. So what does it mean to be an all-rounder performer?
I mean, learning how to dance and learning how to host on stage, and it's all different forms of stage presence. You know what I mean? When you learn how to dance, you learn about body awareness. You learn how to look good on stage. And when you learn how to host, you learn how to command the crowd. Same thing as a host is an MC, and an MC is a rapper. In that sense, you have to command the stage. You have to command the crowd. It's controlling a crowd. And
the hosting.
Yeah, and spending doing 600 over shows, it gave me so much opportunities to make mistakes. So it was a great platform and avenue for me to make mistakes. So I was making as much mistakes as I could make.
What are some of this? If you are okay, talk about it.
Some of the mistakes.
Yeah, what's the most common mistakes that artists did not know before?
I mean, little things like what to say on stage, what not to say on stage, stage etiquette, how you should behave for sound check, how you should behave for rehearsal, how you should, talk to the sound engineers, how you should respect everybody on stage, how you should respect, because I had to do stage setup, I had to coil wires and everything to perform and then do that, So that really humbled me down a lot. It taught me humility. It taught me it's putting on a performance and a show is never a one-man show. It's always a team. You have to have, you have to work with people, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there's a difference between your stage persona and your personal self? Or if there's a difference at all?
I wouldn't say it's a difference, but it's like my stage persona is probably a more amplified version of myself. It's still me, but it's just super amplified. Yeah.
And why, I mean, maybe why is that necessary? And then, I guess maybe that next question isn't relevant. Do you draw the line? Which is, you don't. Yeah. Why is that necessary to amplify, yourself on stage? I mean, it sounds like a absolutely dumb question, but yeah.
Why is it necessary? I think, it's entertainment. Like, you don't want to see me brush my teeth. You know what I mean? I'm an entertainer. I'm here to entertain. So, it's just basically, making people happy. Yeah. On stage. And that's why everything that you see on stage or whatever is still me. It's a persona of mine. And, it's just that it's a different form that I'm presenting to the public. Yeah.
The song, Remember the Name, by, Fort Minor. 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentration power will, and then it goes on. Not referred by any
5% pleasure,
50% pain. What is your personal take on the topic of talent versus luck?
Talent versus luck?
Or hard work? Talent versus hard work?
Talent versus hard work.
As an artist?
For me, I feel like I'm like 5%, I mean, maybe like 2% talent. Yeah, 98% hard work. Yeah, straight up. That's me. Because talent, anybody can have talent. Talent is everywhere. But having that focus and having that vision and having that the guts and the courage to do what you want to do, that's the thing that would set you apart from regular people. Yeah, it's not talent.
Why do you say so? Are there any examples?
I've seen so many talented people with the wrong attitude, wrong mindset, or lazy, just go down the drain just like that. They could be the most talented people in the world. Yeah, but if you're not willing to put in the work, if you're not focused, if you're lazy, or if you take things for granted, if you're not humble, if you're arrogant, you think that you're above people, you think you're a superstar, that's it, Talent won't do shit for you. Yeah, it's all about hard work.
And the next question would more be like, because, there's so much artists, musician out there who are struggling, right? And this is just common everywhere in the world, not just Singapore. Are there any yardstick or measure that, like, maybe you should give up? Maybe this is not for you. Or maybe this is something that you could work on. Are there anything like that one can ask themselves or measure against to know whether this is something that they want to pursue? Because it's very easy to say, okay, just hard work. And then, and then they can spend the next 10 years going nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, okay. There's a difference between working hard blindly or working hard smart. Working smart is a whole different thing. You have to kind of work smart, but work hard at the same time. You know what I mean? You can't just work hard and like, I mean, if you have a horrible voice and you sing every day, you obviously, you're not going to be Mariah Carey. You know what I mean? You still have to have that little bit of talent. I'm not saying like talent doesn't matter 2%. At all. Yeah, you gotta have that little 2%. Yeah. This little sprinkle that would make you like, would make everything possible. But what I'm saying is like hard work definitely matters a lot more than talent. Yeah.
And what are some areas where you think people are not working smartly enough?
I think sometimes, a lot of times, like even for myself, like any humans, we just forget to realize our flaws. Yeah. And kind of pay attention to them. Like we fail to be aware of certain things and we don't reflect enough to know ourselves enough. Because to be able to move forward and to be able to work towards your dreams and navigate and all, you gotta have a very strong core. You know, you gotta know who you are as a person. You gotta know where you stand. You gotta really know where you stand, so that you know where your ship is sailing in that way. Yeah.
No. What you say is really, really interesting. And it's probably, well, I'll say for myself, right? It's probably only until recently when I speak to so many different individuals in this interview that I know where I am. But I never knew before. So, I mean, is there anything for others to do, or, you know, to be more self-aware?
Traveling would help. Yeah. Travel. Go explore the world. Don't be afraid to take a risk. When you're young, just go out there, man. Don't be boxed up, and don't have a caged up mentality. Like, be open-minded. Like, go out there, see different cultures, experience different languages, experience different people, you know, the way they speak, the way they react to certain things, and respect people and respect. When I mean respect, I really mean like learning about other people's culture and religion and country, and not just tolerating. There's a difference between respecting and tolerating, and a lot of people confuse the both of them. They think that when they're tolerating people, they're respecting people, but that's not the case. You really gotta humble yourself down and really like speak to the people eye to eye and learn about them, and yeah, that's the only way that you could, you know, find out more about yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, no, I mean, I really want to bring out like the difference between, because you spoke about tolerating versus respect, you know, and I do feel that I'm more on the respect than tolerate. But yeah, it's quite hard to, you know, tell the difference if you don't know yet. And how would what would be a good difference to show, you know, the two terms, respect versus tolerating?
Let me give you an example.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of people here do not respect the construction workers in Singapore. They're tolerating them, but they claim that they're respecting. They're not. You know, they walk past them and they're like, you know, they're still bitching about them, or they're, you know, making some stupid ass joke. Whatever it is, you know what I mean? They're still looking down on them inside here. You know what I mean?
I got it. So maybe it's about the conversation that you don't have, that you have behind it. What do you say about?
It's not just about the conversation, it's about your thoughts. Yeah. It's about the thoughts that you have about them. You want to really respect these construction workers, or although they're from Bangladesh and everything, you really want to respect them, you go and talk to them. I mean,
I have tremendous respect for these people, because, you know, look, why don't you just stand in the sun for the next 5 hours and try that? Don't even need to carry pigs.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't they think that they're respecting them, but they're not. They're just tolerating them. Yeah. So that's the difference. Like,
yeah. I wonder, how can one be more respectful instead of being just tolerating? Where do you think you get that from?
Where do I get that from? My mom, I guess. Yeah, my mom, for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, for me, I really think just trying out their life for a day and just seeing that, you know, like,
and that too, you know, and yeah, just be open to, just put yourself in other people's shoes, I think. Yeah.
So now that, you know, you have gained such recognition from many people and awards and stuff, and just fans, as if a local musician would come up to you and say, hey, you know, like, I'm trying to build a career for myself, and maybe let's say 5 years. Do you think 5 years is a good time?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say they have 5 years, and then you're like, okay, I want you to work smart. I'm going to teach you some stuff. You know, what skills or experiences would you recommend them to learn or acquire in this 5 years gap?
What skills would I recommend them to acquire?
Or experiences?
For 5 years, I would just ask them to go. I mean, you're talking about musician, right? Just go travel the whole world and meet different musicians from different parts of the world. Yeah. And that's one. And then you gotta work on your craft every single day. it's got to be the first thing that you think about when you wake up in the morning, and it's got to be the last thing you think about before you go to sleep. You know, you got to live and breathe this. It's not just a hobby. It's not just a 9-to-5 job. It's your life. You know, you got to live and breathe this. Like, it's in your blood. Yeah.
Would you recommend them to go to MDC maybe?
If they can, yeah. If they can, yeah. If they can, they should, because it's definitely
Yeah, no, and I think just by the sheer amount of show that they do, and, you know, coiling wires and all, give them a very good foundation of the industry as a whole, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So traveling, doing music and thinking about music all the time, 24/7, and maybe do a lot of shows, even if you're not the one performing.
Yeah, yeah. Just learn, yeah.
If you could change some things or one thing in the music industry, what would it be?
If I could change the Singapore music industry, if I could change one thing, I guess, you know, make the gap between the fan and the artist even smaller. Yeah, if I could, you know, if I could change anything, you know, that's what I would
What do you
change.
mean by the gap?
You know, nowadays, like, you have Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all this social media stuff that kind of makes the gap between the fan and the artist like smaller, because like they feel closer to you, right? But, you know, if I could change something, I would make that even closer, you know. Yeah, so like so that, you know, I can really understand the people and really be the voice of the people, you know, in that way. Yeah.
And one aspect about your music that really stood out for me is the clarity of your pronunciation.
Oh, thank you.
And I can actually understand what you're talking about without looking at subtitles. So, you know, was that something that came naturally to you, or did you need to develop this clarity?
I definitely needed to develop this clarity, but language is something that I've always been very interested in as a kid. Yeah, like whether it's a Mandarin or English or whatever language it is, I've always been very intrigued with languages. So I just spent a lot of time like mimicking different like you know, the way people from different countries they speak. As a kid, like I would do that a lot, and then eventually it just came to me naturally. Yeah.
So by mimicking,
Imitating different languages and stuff. Yeah.
practicing. Yeah, no, because it reminded me actually of Danny Wong, who when he was a DJ back in Power 98, he actually had a different kind of voice.
Different kind of voice.
Yeah, and he was being dissed at all the time. So he just go to Magazine Resort and shout at the top of his lungs, and look in the mirror every day and read the newspaper. Just read every single word.
Yeah,
until he
yeah.
changed his. Wow.
That would definitely help too, man. That's a good idea. Yeah.
And I guess, what does music mean to you right now in your current season of life?
What does music mean to me? Music is my life. Music is my life. Music is my world. My world revolves around music. Yeah, everything that I do revolves around music. Yeah.
And this is again a little bit of side tangent. When have you lost your way?
When have I lost my way? When have I lost my way?
I mean, we can skip this.
I don't think I've ever, lost my way in a sense, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that topic sort of came out with the interview with Dani, and, you know, saying that at least in music or in entertainment career, there's a lot of ego.
Yeah.
It's so easy to go sidetrack.
It's so easy, yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, how would you keep yourself in check? You know, what are some of the stuff that you do? Or
I think the important thing is to constantly remind yourself that you're human, you're normal, like, and keep real people around you that tell you the honest truth, and not yes man, and not people that tell you things that what you want to hear. Yeah, you gotta have real people around you to kind of keep yourself in check. Yeah, and for me, like, I'm very blessed and fortunate to have very great people around me, and also my mom. Yeah, my mom kind of I think because of her, like, I never really lost my way in that sense. Yeah,
What did she,
just the way she brought me up, man. And I mean, she's from Malacca, so like, she's from Malacca, and she married my dad, but she grew up in a kampong and everything. So, having that mentality, I was raised with that mentality, so kind of shaped my thought process. Yeah.
and along this journey, with the rapid rise to, one would call success, or one would call the increase in viewership or attention. Anyone else or anything that have, pull you back to the love of creating a music? I mean, with the sudden rise of the attention, with one of like Limpe, say for example, it just went viral, and I need to deal with this. When one of my videos went viral too, it's just like there's a lot of like ego stroking when your Facebook page like increases.
I think because I was very lucky. Like, I think when I was 17, I went on this show called Live and Loaded on Channel 5, Live and Loaded, like, where they featured local musicians and stuff. That was the first time I went on TV. But when I did that show, I had a lot of flack. I had a lot of hate, a lot. Like the internet was just flaming me and all that, and that's how my career kind of started. So when the love came, it was at a very late part of my career.
Gotcha.
So when that came, I already, like, I've been through all that, the hate.
So you
and stuff.
ego-proof yourself when you're 17,
Yeah,
so to speak.
yeah, kind of in a way. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm ego-proof. Like, everybody has an ego. You just gotta know, like, when to drop it, and I think in that sense, like, when like what you said about ego stroking and stuff, like I like having that happen to me when I was 17, made me like appreciate everything. Yeah. Everything that comes my way. Yeah.
And not only, or just move to directing actually now. You actually direct more than just your own music video. You did the StarHub Chinese New Year commercial, Wanga, and the Durex MTV sex ad campaign.
Yeah, for World AIDS Day. Yeah.
Yeah. So on the note of directing, what are some common mistakes that you can speak about in terms of directing? Or maybe even better, it's like frame us. What does directing mean to just layman?
Directing is basically, putting the guy that's like, the person that puts together the whole picture and the whole vision. He sees, as a director, you have to see the whole thing before anybody else can see it. And your job as a director is to make sure that the entire team understands your vision and can see your vision. Yeah. And the job of the rest of the team is to bring out the director's vision to, as close to whatever he has in mind. Yeah.
And are there any common mistakes for young directors?
I don't think I'm in a position to speak about that. Yeah.
Okay,
like, I don't think I'm, on that level where I can say, like, yeah, because I'm still a young director. I'm still a young musician, man. Like, yeah.
Sure. In 2015, you were part of the cast for Royston's film.
Oh yeah,
3688, right?
688.
So it's not like you have not enough things on your plate of things to do already. So why did you decide to take up that gig?
What happened was, like, I did the Our Boys to Men musical. Yeah, I did Our Boys to Men musical because that was part of my time in MDC. So they sent me for the Our Boys to Men musical. And Beatrice Chia, the director of the musical, she she gave me a role where like I was just like a retarded recruit rapping, like like she gave me a scene, and what happened was Royston came for one of the shows, I think the gala or something, and he saw me rap, and he already had 368, like the film. It was like the script is done and everything, but he saw me perform, he saw me rap, and he told his producer like, find out who that guy is. I'm gonna create a role for him. So that's how he created that role. That whatever role that you saw in 368, like the kid that was serving coffee and stuff. Yeah, he created that role when he saw me at Our Boys in the Musical. So that's how it came about. And he approached me after that. He's like, I'm doing a new movie. It's my new movie after 7-8 years. And like Royston is somebody that I have a lot of respect for, man. He's definitely an artist in his own right too. Visionary.
So it
Definitely.
was an easy yes for you.
Yeah, for sure. Like as a director, I'm a fan of his directing too. So, and I wanted to learn, on set too, like how he directed people, and he gave me a lot of advice with a lot of things. I would ask him because I was acting, but I was acting, but with director's mindset in a way. Like I wanted to give him what he wanted to see on screen, and just different stuff. And there was a lot of waiting time in between when you're filming. So I would look on the frame, and I would look at the different equipment. It was just like a learning. It was almost like I was interning, Yeah, but I was acting. Yeah.
Are there any notable lessons that you got from Royston, or do you think he's very good at versus, I don't know if you have any other frame of reference?
He's an artist, man. He's straight up an artist. He knows how to bring out the raw emotions from a person. Yeah, yeah. He knows how to do that. Yeah,
And this is like like artist talk one-on-one, and then give the talk.
yeah. He knows how to set the scene right. He knows exactly what he wants. He knows like what kind of shot or what kind of emotions would get to an audience. Yeah. Royston is just very, very good with that.
We're going to jump into a quick round of questions. All right. What is the books if you have given the most?
48 Laws of Power.
Robert Greene.
Okay, yeah. Great book.
Do you want to do a bit of sell on that? Why? And
I think everybody should read it. It's a great book for survival. Yeah.
are there any favorite documentaries or movie?
Documentaries. Right now, I think favorite documentary would be Hip Hop Evolution. Yeah, on Netflix. I think everybody should go check that out. It's like 4 episodes, I think. Yeah, it talks about the history of hip hop and stuff. And movies, probably Departures. That's my favorite movie. Yeah, it's a Japanese movie.
Any local musician that deserve more recognition?
Personally, I feel Charlie Lim deserves a lot more recognition. He's a very, very talented artist. Yeah.
What have you purchased recently under $100 that has impacted your life?
Damn. Headphones. Yeah. Headphones.
What is the worst advice you see or hear being given in your circle?
That it's okay to do business, to mix business with family or relationships. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst. Yeah.
Because emotional.
Yeah, you shouldn't mix them up. Yeah.
Any advice for your 16 and 20-year-old self, and place us where you're at?
Any advice? I guess just believe in yourself. Yeah. And yeah, believe in yourself, and everything will fall into place. Yeah.
What were you doing
16? O levels. Yeah.
And 20?
20, same thing. Yeah, same thing.
When you think of the word successful, who came into your mind and why?
My mom. Yeah, because she raised me, and I'm not an easy kid to raise, man. Yeah, so I give her 100% props to that. To raise a kid like me, it's an achievement for her.
Are there any routines or habits that you find important?
Brushing my teeth, yeah, morning and night. I think people that don't brush their teeth, nah.
What are some of the most common misconceptions about you or your work?
Misconceptions. Um, I guess a lot of the times people would think that um like people think that I'm like arrogant, or like I just don't want to I just don't want to talk to people or stuff like that. But it's just the way I look, man. I look very unapproachable a lot of times, but truth is, like, I just like to meet people. I just like to talk to people. I just like to learn about different things. So yeah.
Are there any asks or requests for the audience? Last parting words, thoughts to take away, to consider, to try, or otherwise?
I think everybody should, anybody watching this or whatever should just believe in themselves. Believe in yourself. Yeah. It's a very important thing to do.
Any upcoming projects that people can look forward to?
I'm working on my album now, so definitely something coming this year, but no dates yet. We're still working on it, but it's gonna be exciting.
Is it a full album, 10 songs, or?
No, nothing yet. Like
Okay.
Yeah. We're still working on it. Yeah.
Is there a name or to look out for, or
no,
not yet?
no,
Okay,
nothing yet. Yeah,
but this year.
This year, yeah.
All right. And where can people find you or your projects on the internet?
Yeah, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everything. Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. We're done.
Sweet. Boom. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, my man.
Hey people, it is over. As usual, all short notes, links, books can be found on the website brianvictor.com. Brian for Y. And if you have any misfits you'd like to hear from, feel free to drop me an email. Thank you once again for taking your time, really, to listen to this episode. I hope you learned something from it as much as I do, and have a fantastic week ahead.